I've read and analyzed the novel The Sea Change by Ernest Hemingway. The story takes place in a bar in Paris at an unknown year and an unknown date. But we do know it takes place in the end of summer, so in the late summer. And the bar seems like a fine establishment. We get to know that there's only one person hired, but it seems like a nice little place. And the atmosphere seems a little tense, but we'll get more in depth with that later. The story starts in medias res. It has a sudden start in the middle of some dialogue. We don't get the normal introduction that Hemingway is quite used for. He uses a lot. So it just starts in the middle of dialogue. During the story, we don't hear or read about any flashbacks, and there is little to no development when it comes to action in the novel. It's pretty much just as it is a long discussion or a long conversation, and it has an open ending. It has an ending where you still can think about it after you've read it. The story consists of 6 persons, 6 different characters, where some are more in depth than others. Like the couple who are sitting by the table, the young couple, where the only one who we know the name of is the boy Phil, and the girl, she's just an unknown. She's an unknown, but we know that they are together and they are discussing what they are discussing. The third person in the story is the bartender, who we also know the name of. His name is James, a typical bartender name. And the fourth and the fifth person are some random visitors in the bar. They just come in, talk a bit to the bartender, and we really don't know any more about them. And the sixth person is you could say the sixth person is the narrator. You could see him as a person, or you could not see him as a person. The couple arguing, we know that they are young and that they are tanned, which means they have been on a holiday or they are on a holiday right now. We don't know if... all we know is that in Paris they are more tanned than the people who are there, since they stand out, which we get to know. They seem to have been on a holiday together, or just been. And the bartender seems old. That's what we get to know from one of the random bar visitors. He tells him that he looks older, and he looks old. And one of them also tells him that he looks fatter. So he must in some way look fat. And the only 2 characters who do express themselves, and we do know have feelings, are the 2 are Phil and the random girl arguing, since they're arguing over they're arguing during the entire novel. We do get to know their personalities instead of the other characters. We do not know what sort of personalities they have, nor the bartender. They are more flat persons, or they have flat personalities, not as complex as Phil and his girlfriend. They are arguing over the fact that she had apparently been together with another man. You are out to believe in the beginning, but as you get further into the text or into the novel, you realize that she had been with another woman, which also would make Phil a little bit more angry, since if it just had been a man, it would have been a bit more normal. And yeah, the characters are presented gradually. They're not all presented at once. First, we have the main characters. Main characters. We have Phil and his girlfriend. Then we have the bartender, and then the two random persons and the two random visitors in the bar. Yeah, and as I've said before, pretty much only 2 of the 5 persons represented in the text are complex, and the last 3 of them are quite flat, has flat personalities. Atmosphere, for its time, also atmosphere, the theme in the novel, for its time, it's quite unusual to have the theme of bisexuality, which pretty much is the fact that Phil's girlfriend had cheated on him with another woman. So this whole theme of bisexuality is quite an unknown theme at the time, an underrepresented theme, I would say, and it's sort of a dangerous thing to write and talk about, especially in the time that this thing was written. It's a more norm. It's a norm today. And other themes in the text would be things such as acceptance and conflict itself. Especially conflict, as they are I'm joking up. Next thing, the moral of the story would be that no matter the conflict or the discussion or how mad you are, how mad you have gotten, you're always the better person if you're able to forgive and able to accept another person's point of view, as Phil does when he sort of accepts his girlfriend's choice of actually cheating on him with another woman. He sort of accepts it, and he becomes a new man, and that's what he also says himself multiple times. In the end, he has changed a lot, and when he's talking to his girlfriend, he suddenly doesn't even recognize his own voice anymore, and that's a clear sign that the fact that he accepted or forgave his girlfriend was a new thing for him. He found it hard and strange, and the tone in the novel, I would say, would be quite tense. Pretty much all the characters have this sensitivity amongst them, and especially the couple when they're arguing. It's quite tense. It's all tense, and then it relieves up. It gets a lot lighter when he finally accepts her decision and tells her that she can go and be together with the woman. And the title refers to the major change Phil undergoes during the novel. Basically, the sea change, which the sea is massive, and it's a massive change he undergoes since he actually he accepts the fact that his wife cheated on him with his girlfriend cheated on him with another woman. And the language is especially important in this text, since the majority of action in this novel is dialogue, pure dialogue, and the language is quite simple and to some degree formal. And the narrator is a third-person narrator, and he's omniscient, which means that he knows everything. Just like we know that he is in the head of the young couple. He at one point, he knows he knows what they're thinking, and he knows what they're going to do. Yeah, and the narration mode is a describing mode of narration. He describes the moves, who says what, and basically, basically putting it together by describing the action in the midst of the dialogue.